Hello and welcome to another Adventures in Bing Chat episode. So in this episode I'm going to illustrate how certain types of questions in Bing Chat clearly don't work very well. And we run up again this same problem, is that there's no indication as to how accurate or probable or whatever metric you could in fact use with information that's gleaned from a large language model. There's no indicator of that. So it's interesting, I think, when you're kicking the tires on anything like a large language model, is to pick something that you know, or the information is readily available, that's easy to fact check, and try it out. It's not that you're really trying to catch the large language model out as such, but what you're trying to do is understand its limitations, which then helps you design your prompt. It helps you to know what sort of prompts and what types of information to stay away from or to be cautious of. So I thought it'd be interesting here to actually ask it about my YouTube channel, because without knowing that much about how that information might be encoded inside of the large language model, or it obtains from doing subsequent searches, it's interesting to see how it deals with information that's partially text and partially video, and what information it might be able to glean from the textual elements of the channel. So yeah, what we're going to do is I've got two ChatGPT searches up here, because anybody that's watched the channel now for over a couple of years will know about 2 years ago, roughly, maybe even just a year ago, I did change the name of the channel. So what we're going to do is we're going to ask it the question, what is the oldest video on the Toxic Music 79 YouTube channel? That was a previous name of the channel. So let's see how it fills in the blanks. I don't expect it to get this right. But we'll see what it comes up with. So according to YouTube, apparently, the oldest video on the channel is Album Musings number 5, Carly Simon, No Secrets. It's a good video, which was uploaded on January the 3rd, 2022. The video is about 32 minutes long and has 62 views as of now. You can watch it here. So let's just check that straight away. So if we go into here, so this is a view on the channel from a different account. And what's really useful now is actually YouTube have reinstated this oldest feature, which I was really annoyed when they took it off. Actually, I love digging through other channels and see, like, you know, the earliest videos. So you can see here my earliest video is from, crikey, 13 years ago. Rise of the Eldrazi booster pack opening. So there you go, a bit of history. Obviously at this point I'm not going to play this, but yeah, incredibly low res camera. I can't remember the point at which YouTube allowed videos over 10 minutes long, but I do know that one of the problems I had when I did the original Deck Builders Toolkit back from that would be around about 2010, I suppose, was that I had to split it up into parts, because at that point I'm pretty sure you couldn't post over 10-minute videos, and then at some point that was lifted, and here we are today with videos that I post, well, fairly regularly within excess of an hour, sometimes 2 hours actually nearly. So yeah, clearly not right from that angle. Let's just see how much it knows about me. It's created in 2006, allegedly. Has over 2,000 subscribers and well, that's 2,000 is actually pretty accurate. I think I've done 2,078. 900 videos. Yeah, I think I've exceeded 1,000 now, probably. The channel is mainly focused on Mothering the Gathering. Magic the Gathering also posts other topics. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Oh, the channel owner also has a Spotify account with the same username. Interesting. Apparently it's not related to the song "Toxic" by Britney Spears. So there you go, which it isn't. In case you don't know where the original name of the channel came from, I have mentioned in previous videos, but I was always amused by, there's a quote from Lemmy that I read on I think in a Motorhead book from way back around the time of Iron Fist that I bought. And in it there's some quote about Lemmy saying about Motorhead that if they moved in next door to you, your lawn would die. And I thought, you know, as an impressionable teenager at the time, I thought that was, you know, an interesting concept, the fact that a band could be so heavy and extreme that they were actually toxic to your lawn. So that's where actually it came from. And 79 is my, well, now one, but was for a number of years, one of my favourite years in music. 1979, a lot of cool albums came out then. And I think I've mentioned before, I mean, I do particularly like the period of 76 through to about 81. But then there's other years which I enjoy, like 1985, 1995, I think, around there, around the time of Britpop and trip hop. So yeah, every decade has several years that I do find as enjoyable as 79. But the 70s I find have a number of years, and that's probably just a nostalgia thing. How long has the channel been active? '17th of March 2008. Okay. So I think that is actually, it won't say from, let me just dig around here, May the 17th 2008. So it's saying, yeah, means the channel's almost 15 years old. Now, I didn't start recording videos, as I've mentioned before. If we go back, the oldest video was 13 years ago. So yeah, 2010. So like a lot of people, you know, back then, you know, my main reason for joining YouTube was to watch the videos. I didn't really have any aspirations to be a content creator, and it wasn't until 2010 when I moved to Canada and I initially had a bit of downtime for the first 6 months of 2010 that alongside music blogging I decided to do some Magic the Gathering pack openings, basically because I couldn't find the content that I wanted to watch at the time. I mean, I stumbled across a few things, but that's really why it started, was that I wanted to have pack openings where you went through each of the cards, because at that point I think what pack openings there were, they tended to just crack the pack, look at the rare and quickly flip through the rest of the cards, and that was about it. And that in some ways, the pivotal moment for me on the channel was in 2011, I think. Hang on, let me think about this. When did I go to DC? No, 2010 was when I took a trip to Washington DC, and I had this real bit of luck. My wife was talking at a library conference there, and so I tagged along, and during the day I had lots of free time to wander around Washington. Went to the zoo, went around a few things in central Washington, but there was a big promotional section in the library thing. It was a convention, and in amongst all of that was a Wizard of the Coast stand, and they were doing actually promoting their graphic novel at the time. And so, unbeknownst to me, my wife was able to secure some promo material amongst not only a graphic novel, but also a pack of Call Set 2011, which at that point was unreleased and I opened on the channel. But it's funny because I'm trying to remember the type of camera I was using. It wasn't the camera I've got now, but it was, back then you could hardly read the text on my videos, which is one of the reasons why I also called out the cards and read the cards and stuff like that. But yeah, so someone commented and said, could I include a list of what was in the pack? Because at that point as well, 2010, stuff wasn't spoiled quite as much as it is now. There was still a bit of mystique around new sets, and I think that pack turned up at least a week before the pre-release. So yeah, that was quite cool. Anyway, I've digressed, but yeah, that was so 2010 was a pretty. Those initial ones was quite there it is. Oh no, sorry, that's the unboxing. We're right there. There we go. Core set M11 and goodies. Unfortunately, I wasn't videoing everything, so there's a lot of boosters that I opened, like one-offs of early sets, which never got captured on video. I went down a bit of a HeroClix rabbit hole as well. Anyway, back to this. So let's look at it through the lens of Flourishing music. So I changed the name, like I said, about a year or two ago, and it's really because I was doing a lot more videos about flourishing, and relaxation videos had kicked in, and I was sort of riffing off the unintentional ASMR of the channel. So I just wanted to give it a bit more of an appropriate name, even though I still think Toxic Music 79 was a pretty cool name for a YouTube channel. But for the sort of content I was kicking out, I needed to have a bit of a change up. So through that lens, according to Bing Chat, the oldest video on the channel is Magic the Gathering Land Ahoy! What's in my basic lands box? Another excellent video if you've not watched it. It was uploaded 2 years ago, so yeah, it's totally out of whack. What is the most popular video on Flourishing Music 79? I'll let it come back with this. It's not a Magic the Gathering video. Oh, he reckons it's that. No, in actual fact, if we go in here, it's my setting up my SG special. So there we go. So if anybody's curious, there's the most popular videos on the channel. after the 2 of 4 videos on the SG special, you can see here's, I split that into 7 videos. That was a bit of a magnum opus. Then we've got M30 Fat Pack, and then the 2011 corset stuff. More corsets, yeah, corset fat packs and deck builders toolkits always seem to be really popular on the channel. But yeah, all the old stuff back then was really popular. Yeah, I dropped the ball basically. There was a point, I can't remember how many years ago, I stopped sort of doing regular uploads. And of course, admittedly, there's channels were starting to come through which had a much higher production quality to them. So, that obviously that didn't help me, because I opted to keep the channel with the same lo-fi aesthetics that I always had. And so, you never know, it might become trendy again, eh? Things go in multiple year cycles. This one's cranking up. This one, it's 2.9 thousand views, slowly getting there. I was also looking through this, and I got a feeling there's some videos I actually just took down, maybe, because there's some that I just can't find. Maybe I've not looked hard enough, but there was some in here to do with, I think I called it like the wisdom and madness of crowds, which was my attempt at a very heavily edited set of videos that took about, I don't know, it took almost the whole weekend to do. And that actually was what put me off doing highly edited, highly scripted videos. That experience, I did not enjoy it. Even though I have had to do other videos prior to this, prior to having a YouTube channel, which had to be highly edited. But that was for clients, for training videos, and obviously there, just has to be done. So, let's see what it says. Hopefully, if that will. Oh, there we go. So it's using Social Blade for that. Yeah, that's not right. What? Social Blade. What's Social Blade saying about me? Yeah. There you go, see. Oh, here we go. See how much it took. How much it's going to say about me. Who runs this? Who is the mystery owner? He's only shown his face in one video, and that was 10 years ago or more. They do not reveal their identity. They only describe themselves as a podcaster, blogger, and Magic the Gathering enthusiast. Apparently I have a website called the Easy Relaxation Podcast. Oh, I didn't know anything about that. I have a podcast, but not a website. What's the connection to Pink Mouse Dave? Probably Pink Mouse Dave is better known than I am. Yeah, see? He's got a higher profile on the channel than me. Who's Bert the Pheasant? They know more about Bert the Pheasant than probably they do about me. Another interesting thing it did, I did try this one once already, like a previous search through, and when it asked me about who runs the Flourishing Music 79, it did determine that I was in Canada, supposedly through one of the nature videos that I posted. I should have kept that. I've wiped it actually. I was just doing a preliminary run through. Yeah, so this, if you've got an online presence, this is a good thing to play around with from lots of different levels. I mean, you know, there is that concept of OSINTing yourself. So doing open source investigation on yourself to see how much information you're leaking, if you don't want to necessarily leak information. But just because you know a lot about yourself, and hopefully you know how much information you've given out on the web, it's quite useful to just see how that compares with what Bing Chat is able to determine. I mean, it's already mentioned that, and I think it should be able to work out that fairly easily. Suggesting you check out the site subscriber account on Social Blade. Why is there a support? That's curious. Let's have a look. Oh, interesting. How to find out about subscribers. Okay, that's why that's there. Wants to know more about Pink Mouse Dave. What else can I ask? Does the site have any videos on Videod, hero clicks? Yeah, I went down a slight, not so much a rabbit hole, more a bit of a divot on hero clicks. Apparently I don't have any videos on hero clicks. Good to know. What other videos do I have? Digital gifts and Yuletide specials. Okay. What about the infamous, is there anything on Lupercal? Oh yeah, so, yeah, okay. And of course here it's picking up stuff I put in the description. The Nux pedal, by the way, is actually called loop core, not looper core. So. So let's see if it goes against what it's already told me. Obviously I'm really pushing it here because, you know, how is it going to work that out? Yeah. So now it's getting really fast and loose with the facts. So in one instance it says the channel was correctly, you know, created in 2008. Now it's claiming the channel joined YouTube on May the 10th 2019. I've got no idea where it's getting that from. Maybe it's, oh, here we go. Oh, Social Blade again. Oh, that was the Toxic Music one, wasn't it? Yeah, sorry. Interesting. Let's try it with this then. Okay, so it's doing a better job there. So you can see, obviously, name changing the channel is going to affect this. And it is interesting because if you remember, there's that whole thing about, you know, in terms of the foundation model component of GPT-4, which I'm assuming Bing is still using a variant of, you know, this information predates the supposedly the cutoff date, I think, for that large language model in terms of what it's been trained on, what the foundation model's been trained on. But as we've seen before, Bing Chat has the benefit of being able to leverage internet searches through Bing. But clearly, and again I'm speculating here, okay, this is just mindful, mindless, depending on how you look at it, speculation, that the name change is obviously impacting things here to some degree. So I'm going to ask you now to, can you list 10 videos that are over 10 years old? Now, if you remember, it claimed that the oldest video, well, it wasn't even before this, for the sort of Toxic Music 79 name. You just go up and try and find it again. Oh, it's Flourishing. Oh, there we go. Yep. Yeah. So no, I did ask it about that, but it said it's the. Yeah, okay, that's what I'm getting muddled up here. So yeah, I was asking about Toxic Music 79. So yeah, what I said still stands. So now we're going to ask it again just what is the oldest video on the channel. See what happens. So that's good. So it's interesting, isn't it, how through doing this, so it's gone from up here, it's sort of initially worked out there was connection with Toxic Music 79 and Flourishing Music 79. Now, yeah, I'd have to check, because changing the name of the channel roughly coincided with a few other things. So I'm not sure off the top of my head whether it was around about this date or not. And that might be that might be where it's coming in from. Although it claims to, it's not really making any claims. Yeah, I'm not sure where that's coming in from. Then it says the YouTube channel was created in 2006. And then it switches to 2008. As being active. But then once I start probing it about videos over 5 years old, which is before this date, before the oldest video, it successfully lists some. And then if I go 10 years old, it is getting back to this period. You notice I said over. And then I say, what's the oldest video? And it works this out. So you can see it's almost like getting smarter, for want of a better word, and coming out with less made up stuff. The more I sort of gently nudge it with the questions. And I'm not sure if I've noticed that quite that before, which is interesting. So in some ways I seem to be able to educate it, obviously within this topic, and if I do a new topic it's going to wipe anything. Again, this idea, I think I've said before, I've thought of this term, and maybe someone used it before me, of stickiness applied to, you know, how it uses certain facts and discards others. Of course it doesn't know them as facts, that's the other thing. It gets problematic when you start, you know, it's like, through which lens are you using these terms? So anyway, I thought this just idea of doing a video on this suddenly sprung to mind. I've thought of doing fact-checking videos before, but I thought it'd be interesting to do on something where it, you know, potentially has, you know, misinformation, well, just comes to the wrong conclusions, and, you know, is, again, can you improve its ability to determine things where it might not be quite so clear as to where it finds that information out from. And, you know, as you saw, some things, particularly on the channel, which are quite unique, or in the description, in the case of, you know, Lupercore or those sort of things, it locked into that pretty well when I was doing it against the Flourishing Music username. But here, it took a while, but it was sort of getting there. Again, I mean, I could carry on and start to nudge it a little bit more about content information. So, on that note, I think I'll stop the video now. Thanks once again for watching. Bye for now, and I will catch you in the next video.